What is going on, everybody? Welcome to kind of a new bit here. Thought this might be a cool idea. There are so many different sets, products, parallels across all of these sports. Impossible to understand, know the makeup of each set in each sport and why certain things are important. This has been something that's been rattling around in my brain, and I think it's been a byproduct of auction talk with Nick because every week we're talking about new cards from new sets, past and present. And so I've been thinking like there might be a good opportunity here to, as I have these conversations or I hear these themes, just do an episode where in real time I just kind of go through the process of talking through how I learn about a set and what I'm finding out about a set. So what I wanted to start with is let me share my screen. This is a set before I share the screen. This is a set that has continually come up in conversations. I have been listening to the set brought up on other shows. Specifically, the Precious Metal Gents have referred to this set a lot in their show. And so all these things have culminated, and I'm just like, all right, time to learn about it a little bit. So it is the 1998 Donruss Crusade baseball set I want to talk about today. And again, by no means am I the expert here, but I'm just trying to learn. And I'll tell you this, just by doing a quick Google search, you'll end up on all of these pages of these baseball card fanatics that have posted these blogs. Like, it reminds me of like Angel Fire days, like baseball card blogs where they're talking about specific cards. And luckily there's a lot of good information out there. So shout out to all the sources used. This is Rarity Cards, this image here of the Griffey triumvirate. But I think before we get into it, I think just about exploring a set. I think why sets matter. What are those things that make sets collectible, nostalgia? And I classify it into really three buckets that I've observed just going through the parallel series. There's an archive back at the archive. I did a whole parallel series last year with, I think, 12 to 14 episodes. And just like there's consistent themes throughout these episodes that I learned. I think one, it's like look and feel. And so if you look at the Donruss Crusade, you have, chromium product. You've got the holofoil over the top, and that's just the winning combo. Time and place. I'll talk about this a little more, but like me, I'm turning 40 next year. So like time and place this year, like 98 baseball specifically, resonates with me in a big way. And I was like thinking about why. I was like, because I was looking at the checklist and I was like, man, like I know all of these guys. How do I know all of these guys? And like I like whittled it down to a reason that I'll share. But I think that's important. And then like it being limited certainly matters. So what I've learned about this set is that a couple big things. Number one, there are two types. There are two types of cards, and there are three different color variations. So you've got the greens out of 250, you've got the purples out of 100, and you've got the reds out of 25. You've got these standard Crusades, and you've got the call to arms, which is another element of that too. All follow the same model: greens, purples, reds. 130 card base set. What's very fascinating to me about these is the fact that, and we'll go here because this is a good source. Just everyone, Baseball Cardpedia, everyone, just this is the ultimate spot. But right here, what it says here, 40 cards were randomly inserted into packs in 98 Donruss. So here's a hobby box here of 98 Donruss with the big herd on the front. You had 30 of these cards that were inserted into packs of 98 Leaf, which I couldn't find a hobby box of 98 Leaf, which sucks. I like dug deep. 30 cards were in Donruss Update. Here's the update box. And then 30 cards were in Leaf Rookies and Stars. So the distribution of these cards just fucking rules. I love that out of the gates. Just we're going to put 40 in this product, 30 in this product, 30 in this product, 30 in the other. And if you read here, it says 98 Donruss Series 1. It was unannounced and it was a stealth insert. So literally, like, there was nothing on the packaging. Just you just can be ripping packs and then just end up with a Crusade, and you were probably like, "What the hell is this?" So that's really cool. This note down here too is also awesome. Where sounds like there was plans for this to carry into the 99 set, but then there was bankruptcy at Pinnacle Brands, which was the parent company, and just this never came to fruition. And then I don't want to get into this, but then of course there's a bunch of backdoor copies, which is pretty par for the course with 90s stuff. But I just, something about the way that it is configured in these packs across products that hits that kind of limited bucket, and I think it's very, very unique. Now back to, for me, like, I was digging through this checklist. I mean, I'm just like looking through these names, and I'm like, I know all these guys. I'm like, how do I know all these guys? And then it hit me. It hit me, and this is the moment that hit me right here. Does this resonate with? I literally, let me confine the part here. Oh, we don't want to get into ads. We're not going to watch ads. Um, but maybe we'll watch an ad here for a second just to see if I can get to the point I'm trying to. Oh man, double ads. We're getting screwed here. Triple ads. What the? All right, we're just getting rid of that. Um, but in that like clip, he's walking through that game, and I'm just like, he goes into the franchise mode where you can draft players. And I just remember building teams, sitting there all summer playing that game. And that's the reason why, like, all of these names resonate with me. So I've been hearing these, like, there's been these massive sales. And I was looking at, like, what's the most recent sale? This is the Biggio that literally just got best offer on the Fanatics Vault. Someone just like best offered this yesterday for $2,000. So this is the red out of 25. And so these reds, as I'm getting educated on 90s baseball, they're viewed certainly in high regard for a lot of the reasons that we've, shared so far. So you've got an incredible looking card, limited to 25 copies, and a lot of these, from what I'm learning, are buried away in collections. So it feels, certainly with a bunch of these sales, you see, this isn't an auction. This is a Fanatics Vault best offer. You got the Javier Lopez red. Again, another Fanatics Vault. So this was in July 20th. So it's like, these aren't even like going to auction, but people are like picking them off. So it's almost like people are talking about it. People are getting exposed to it. Then people are just going into the vault and searching and buying these cards, which is amazing. Like here, this card got talked about on Auction Talk. This is Tony Gwynn, like one of the best hitters of all time. Fanatics Vault best offer for $4,000. So I think that's interesting. Here's the call to arms. Here's the Barry Sanders call to arms out of 100. Purple PSA 9 that sold for, again, another Fanatics Vault fixed price, sold on August 2nd. So like there is something going on. Like people are like gobbling these up, which is super fun. But I just like I love to like just do that when I'm trying to figure out about a set, just grabbing resources, just like grabbing baseball PDF and digging through, looking at the set, and they've got it like marked exactly like where you'll find Larry Walker. So Larry Walker D is in Donruss Series 1. So if you're trying to pull a Larry Walker red Crusade, you're going to find it in Donruss Series 1. So I never would have understood this product, how it's made up, if I didn't do some digging and learning more about it just on resources like this. And there's like really cool resources. Like again, like this looks like Angel Fire, like back in the day, right when I started using the internet. But like the headline here, Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr., 98 Donruss Crusade executives make headlines. There's just a bunch of cool old content out there like that. And I feel like instead of wondering, sometimes you can just go do a Google search and start digging. So I want like maybe just ending it here. What I wanted to do was just like see what was out there. And I just did like the hashtag. Here's the hashtag on Instagram, Donruss Crusade. And there was 247 posts, which is fun. Ironically, here's the Larry Walker that I just talked about. We'll like it here. Let's see. We'll read the post by Scotty B. Cards. As a collector who primarily collected post 2000, I never understood the significance of Donruss Crusade. So there's another person who's wondering. I'm reading this for the first time. They were in inserts across 4 different Donruss and Leaf products. There were green, 250, purple, 100, red, 25. They are a tough card to pull, rarely ever seen to pop up. Many 90s collectors view these as the best cards of a player from an era outside of one-of-ones. Luckily, I was able to snag one off of eBay about a month or so ago, and it was painful waiting for the card to ship and go through the eBay authentication process, blah, blah, blah. So, again, like it just feels like there's like education and a groundswell of people understanding the significance of these cards, and they're selling for a high dollar. Here's a really cool photo from Tony Gwynn _19. You've got the 24 karat gold side by side with the PSA 10 version of the red. That's pretty damn cool. Bernie red, iconic cards, Texas. We've got this is something. So a recent pickup up to the National, I'm blessed to say I own 3 red Ray Langford. So there's 3. Here's 3 of the 25 here from one collector, known as Ray Langford Collection, which is I'm just gonna follow that page. That's awesome. I love doing that. Todd Helton, another Bernie. Here's our good friend Modest Card Collection with the Gem Mint Bernie, which is natural because he's a incredible collector of Bernie. Here's the rainbow of Deion Sanders, which is awesome. Here's the Griffey. But like looking through this, it's just, I feel like there should be more. Here, Modest has the Tino. So I just think this is cool. Like, instead of like learning and listening and hearing and trying to figure out why these cards are important, it's fun to understand the resources or dig into the resources. It's fun to read posts like this, read old blog posts. I'm sure if I went and blow out, there'd be whole threads of people like planting their flag with why these Crusades are some of the best cards of all time. And I think what else is cool is like the influential element of Crusade, which has been adopted in Panini products as well. You can see that across sports, and that is kind of the greatest. To me, it's like the greatest signal that something matters is that when like one manufacturer adopts it and it gets put into another manufacturer, and they carry that forward. So yeah, I want to do more stuff like this. I want to try to understand, dig in, and share this is something I would have done without recording it. I would have just done it so that when Nick and I were talking on Auction Talk, or I got a question, I would be more educated on a specific product. And by no means am I a baseball card collector, but I will tell you that tapping into my brain a little bit, looking at that checklist, connecting back to Griffey, thinking about those summers, playing that till my eyes bled, literally like up until 2:30 in the morning, like playing like 12 games a day. Like now I'm like, maybe I should set up a save search and look for Vaughn Crusades. Like that starts to circle around in my brain. And I think that's where it goes to show the power of nostalgia. And then if you've got kick-ass cards that fit within the types of cards that I really like, chromium base, holofoil, a lot of nostalgia, limited, that's when I think with a product like this, people are starting to understand, and people understand the limitations, and that's how things become more and more collectible. Thanks so much for tuning in to Stacking Slabs YouTube channel. If you like the collector conversations we're having here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the alerts on, check out Stacking Slabs wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want more exclusive content from Stacking Slabs, make sure you join that Patreon group. Thank you and take care.